Great. So, just waiting for Melvin, or Malvin, as he was recently called. Hey, Mr. J. Marc. Hello, Melvin Jackson Jr. Right?
Yep.
Wow. A little aggressive. Hold for sound.
Some of you guys don't know, this is Kelly Jenrette. I'm Melvin Jackson Jr.
Hey,
Hey,
What's going
what's
on?
up, y'all?
How you
We're
guys
good,
doing?
man.
we're doing good.
We're good. Thanks for having us on, man.
Yeah.
We appreciate y'all.
Absolutely.
Start.
So we just want to, the people that don't know who you guys are, we just want to give you, ask you to give a brief introduction about who you are, what you do, and then we'll kind of get started from there.
Cool. Well, I'm J. Marc Jones, originally from the DC area, like my man right there. So I've been an actor for, wow, more than 10 years on the East Coast and now here in Chicago. And then my wife and I have gotten into film and television production.
Yeah.
And yeah, we have our own business, Jazzy Peach Media.
Yes, and my name is Kayla. I am also from the East Coast. My background is in TV production. I used to work in broadcast journalism for a while, and since I've been in Chicago, I've been getting more into filmmaking. So we're really excited to be doing our thing.
Nice.
That's great. So we're gonna get right into it. So, we want to talk to people about, being married in this business. And I want to explain to them how long you guys have been married.
Now, if I hadn't told you, how many years would you guess?
Um,
We'll reverse that right there.
Uh-oh.
I mean, I guess it has to depend as far as seeing how people interact in person. Then I kind of know, but not knowing. I mean, for you guys to work with each other, I mean, at least had to be more than 5 years. Like that's a challenge working with each other, as we know.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah.
So you want to tell
Well, yeah, we have been married for 19 years, and we'll be celebrating our 20th this year.
Nice.
Congratulations.
When was your 20th?
It'll be August 5th.
Yep,
Oh, okay.
August 5th.
Coming up.
Yeah, right around the corner. I can't believe it's been that long.
Yeah.
I know. We were just talking about, like, we can't believe it'll be 5 years in November.
We can do that too.
Oh. Really?
We still,
That's good. Y'all still like each other.
toddlers. We still toddlers in this thing.
Yeah. Oh, y'all are young in the
yeah.
game, man. Let me tell you.
Oh boy.
Well, I will say this though. You asked about, being married and being in the business. I'll tell you, like partnering creatively or in the business with your spouse, with your wife or your husband, man, it takes your relationship to a whole nother level because now you're not just like talking about how you feel and the things of life. Now you're like, well, now we're working together towards specific kinds of goals. We have business goals. We have, relationship building kind of goals. And now we're a tag team. Now her strengths and my strengths now work in a different kind of way than just, hey, we're married and we're getting along and paying bills. So it really makes a big, big difference. It's not for everybody, let me be honest with you. But it is a good thing if you can do it. And it kind of takes your marriage to another level.
Right,
Absolutely.
right. And we've also had to learn how to set a curfew for business because we can't always talk about business 24 hours. Sometimes we'll be like in bed and like, hey, I have a great idea. And we're like, can we wait until tomorrow to talk about it? But then sometimes you do have to talk about it on the spot because the creative energy is just coming out, it's flowing, and you need to write it down or get it out of your mind somehow. So we find a way to find a balance.
Yeah, and that's the creative partnership too. It's like, in the business, you're always trying to find people that you can work with, that you can trust, who get to have the same chemistry, same vibe as you. Man, your spouse is like the person in the house who already has those things. So when I have an idea or she has an idea, we know how to talk to each other about it. We know how to come up with a great idea, working together on it. And we don't have to like manufacture or work on years and years of working together on projects to have it. So it's really cool. It's like it's already here. And yeah, it works out. It can work out very well.
Well, you talked about the pros. Are there any cons, or have there been any cons of you guys working with each other?
Yeah.
You can go first.
Oh, I can.
Yes,
Yeah.
you go first.
Part of it is knowing when to turn it off, knowing when to focus on a relationship priorities, and those can take a back seat if things are going very well, as they have for us in certain periods or seasons of our working together. If things are rolling in that way, I'll be honest with you, sometimes I kind of forget about the married part of the building and relationship and spending time, the quality time, making sure we're dating, that sort of thing, because I'm like, oh, we got I got this audition coming up, or we got this meeting coming up, and I'm focused on that instead of on building the relationship. So that's one of the cons, and it's like an advanced level kind of skill you have to build up, because you have to be like, as a husband, okay, I'm a leader in the household, God has me in that position, but in the business, we are completely equal in how we make decisions and all that stuff, and it's just like you have to find the right kind of balance, and it's a work in progress. I'm learning all the time how to do it better. That's it for my cons.
Well, there's nothing wrong with my side of the story, but we have, I'd say one of the cons is having to just accept the fact that it's probably not your time to shine, but it's your spouse's time, and just stepping back and letting them have that moment, even if you feel like you deserve it more. And that's been something that I've experienced a couple of times, and I'm like, wait a minute, how is it that this is, that it's this way? But just, still supporting him, of course, and loving him and being his cheerleader. But sometimes it is kind of hard when you feel like an opportunity should have been yours.
Absolutely. And I'm glad that you touched on that, because that was one of our kind of hurdles in the beginning of our relationship, where, I'm the person out there, go get her, do all these things. And there was moments where she was on a show and she pulled me to the side. She's like, tonight, I just need my husband. I don't need Melvin the actor. I don't need Melvin the producer. I just need my husband, because it was all new for her. And I was like, you know what? I could turn that switch off. And it was hard in the beginning, but I was like, if that's what my wife...
It was very hard.
And it was like, that's what my wife needs, and that's what I'm going to give her. And I think it became easier for me to do that. And when people would be like, hey, what are you here? I'm like, no, I'm here to support my wife. And that's what it has to be about, because it can't always be about me. It can't always be about her. It has to be about each other and each time. So I think that was a learning point for me, and I'm glad that she was able to articulate that to me.
And I'm glad that he was able to hear it, because it's a challenging thing. We are definitely that yin and yang. He is the one that social butterfly out there, never met a stranger a day in his life. I'm the one that's like, I'll be over in the corner. Let me know when it's time to go. But in this industry, you have to go out and be engaged and stuff. And the time that he's talking about, I think it was a TCA's for a show, and for grandfathered, and I get jittery and nervous for the red carpet, and it was just like, tonight I don't need you like trying to make connections and networking. I just kind of need you to be there to help me and support me. And he heard me, and he did it, so I was proud.
Yeah, that's one of the things we see in marriage, having been in the game for 20 years, is that you, at least for me, you kind of learn your own vulnerabilities and the things that you do that your spouse helps with, or things that they can correct you or kind of, guide you in the right pathway. And it's true for business or in our relationship. So there have been times, I think when we first got married, before we got married, we did, marriage counseling and personality tests and temperament tests and all those things. It opened our eyes, because you think, oh, we're so compatible and we're perfect together, but then you learn in scientific terms how different you can be. But what we learned was that even though we were two different sides of the spectrum, we covered all the bases. So my weaknesses were her strengths and vice versa. Right. So when she and I are working in concert together, we don't have any weaknesses.
Absolutely.
So it works out actually both in marriage and in business if you guys are really working together.
Yeah. What are you all working on now?
Well, so we launched Jazzy Peach Media, which you can find us on all the social media channels. We have some television projects that we're working on right now, some short form videos.
They're in development.
In development right now. And this is one of the things we always want to like put stuff out there, but we're trying to like, well, do we put everything out there right at the beginning or wait until we see? But we have some great stuff that we've been working on. Part of our mission is to create things that we don't see on television, for example. And as an actor, I'm always thinking, well, what kind of role would I want to see an African-American male be on TV, or you know, African-Americans or women, whoever, are underrepresented? What kind of roles would I love to see? And I think it was yeah, I heard it's like if there's a book out there that you want to read that hasn't been written yet, go make it, go write it. So that's the kind of stuff that I write. That's the kind of stuff that we try and produce, or things that we haven't seen before. So yeah, we have some really cool things in the hopper right now
that we can't talk about,
but we're excited. We are excited about them, and one of them, Melvin, I'm going to be reaching out to you about. Actually, I'd love to get your thoughts on it too. But we're excited. We have some short form and some long form stuff coming.
Nice.
What I love is, you know, how you guys talk about, you know, being compatible, and what you learned that, you know, how you guys sometimes are not and how you are. And what I've learned is that, you know, my wife actually made me better, because she had me thinking about how to not be perfect, but how to walk in excellence, in the sense of not doing all the projects. I used to go and do a bunch of projects. Let me do a bunch of projects, because it's like all these things, and it's like he's always busy. And it was like she said, quality is better than quantity. And it took me a while to learn that, because I'm like, I could do all these projects, and maybe 2 of them out of the 10 can be good. But if I do maybe 1 or 2 great projects, then it's kind of like I give it my all, and it actually speaks to the volume of my work ethic. And, you know, you just want your name to speak volumes, but not just be like, oh, he's always busy. But is his films good, or is his projects good? So that's one thing I was definitely loved at, you know, that she gave me that insight on.
Yeah, yeah, that's one thing we want to try and do with our company is to produce excellence at all the time. And, you know, they say, oh, you just grab a camera, grab your phone and go make something. Yeah, you can, but you still have to get the sound right and the lighting right. You have to, you know, you really have to make it stand out, because you only get one chance at the first impression. So if we're going to come out with some stuff, it's got to be tight out of the box. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to spend $45,000 on cameras, but
you want it to look good.
Yeah, you want it to look good. So yeah, that's great advice, Kayla. I agree with that.
This is 2 for 1. Out of the 2 of you guys, who's the perfectionist? And with being in Chicago, do you feel there is do you face some adversities being in Chicago opposed to being in LA or New York?
Would you like to take the perfectionist answer?
I would say that I probably lean more toward the perfectionist.
Yeah, I saw you kind of sit up. Yes.
Yeah, so I'm probably the one that, when I was growing up, I was called the rule keeper. So I paid attention to all the details. I would tell on my siblings when they were breaking rules, and so when I applied that to my work ethic, and just making sure that I just follow the process, that I cross every T, I dot every I. I want to make sure that the method and the process is that I'm honoring that process. And I think that when you do it that way, that not always a guaranteed outcome, but I want to have the best possible outcome. And it's not that I obsess over it, but I just want to perform well.
And that's good. That is good. I'm the type of person who's just like, let's just try it and see what happens. I mean, there's a point at which you just have to jump off the diving board. You can plan, but so much. So that's how we balance each other. And I'm thankful for her specificness. To your other question, my man, yeah, Chicago's challenging in some ways. Obviously, it's a huge theater town, and you can get some. I've done some stuff at Second City, and there's some great networking in some sense, because it is a smaller market, so to speak, than LA and New York, and we've had a chance to be in both areas too. So yeah, there is some challenge to it. And sometimes you hear about productions like Chicago Fire, Chicago PD, which are filmed here in Chicago at CineSpace Studios, but all the crew and the headlining talent are all from LA.
Right.
All the financial decisions about the show are primarily made in LA. Right. And so it's like, man, you want to be where the decisions are being made, be in the room as it were, or do you want to be where you have maybe a better chance of getting that day player role? And so that's one of the challenges, I think, for every, crew or talent person here in Chicago. But Chicago, in the other way, is because it's a smaller market, it's easier to network. Our degrees of separation from people are like nil, 1 to nil sometimes, and that's very beneficial. And people are more willing, as far as I've seen, to be more willing to help out. It's like, hey, we got this project we're doing. It's low pay, it's low budget, but look, we got some big ideas for it. Would you be interested? And they're like, yeah, let's do it. I want to work. And I don't know if it's the same for what you've seen in LA, but here in Chicago, we've gotten some really good feedback from our brothers and sisters in the business. So, but LA is LA. It's the epicenter of everything. So, there's this a desire to be out there too and spend some time and then maybe come back to Chicago.
So you have plans on coming out to LA when the world opens up again?
Yeah.
Yeah, we would consider it. We would like to at least come back out and just kind of test the waters a little bit. But we're actually enjoying our time in Chicago. We're enjoying the relationships that we're building. Right. And I think where Chicago is right now, it's a little bit behind Atlanta. But people are still accessible, and it's not as hard to network or to get a meeting, in my opinion. But you still have to be at the right place at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Chester knows them.
Oh, y'all know Chester. Hey, Chester.
Hey, Chester. Goodness.
Well, we definitely want to thank you guys for being a part of the show, and definitely leave the people with your Instagram where they can contact you guys if they're in Chicago, if they're just wanting to just connect with you guys.
Absolutely. So I am Mr. J Marc, M-I-S-T-E-R, letter J, M-A-R-C. I'm on Instagram, and I'm on Twitter too, but man, I'm falling out of love with Twitter. Yes.
Yes, and my Instagram is KJ Creates Things. I'm an artist. So yes, KJ Creates Things on Instagram and Twitter.
Yes, and our business is Jazzy Peach Media.
Jazzy Peach Media. I love it.
Thank you guys so much. We appreciate you.
Appreciate you. We'll talk.
You.
Yes, most definitely. All right. Thank y'all for tuning in. Next up, we have the amazing Bashir Sylvain, and we're going to bring him in shortly. Let's see if we can find Bashir.
2 people right here. Okay. He steady trying to wave, y'all. We're waiting for Bechir to join. Oh, snap.
Yeah, they do.
Oh, snap.
Ring light.
Oh,
Amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
So you got to use your ring light.
I'm excited. I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, I can tell you. It's fine. It's fine.
I just gotta get all the angles.
Introduce this amazing young man right here, Bashir Sylvain. He's recurring on calls as EJ, TNT calls. He's been on Chicago PD. He's been on Blackish. He's also recurring as Willie on Bigger, which is a Will Packer production. Welcome to the show, Mr. Bashir Sylvain.
Thank you, my brother, sister. How you doing? How y'all doing?
Doing all right.
Good. Chilling.
So what are you doing with your quarantine time?
Man, I am finding all types of stuff about me. I love it. I'm loving the growth that is happening. I don't think I'm going to have to wear a wig for Bigger anymore. I think by the time we get out here, I'm going to have a full on. So if Devon is watching this or anybody's watching this from Bigger, I probably don't need the wig. I'll just use this. This is perfectly fine. But no, just a lot of just taking the time and just relaxing, man, and resting. I didn't realize how much rest I needed. Those 11-hour sleep sometimes really work, but at the same time, my whole body's been changing. So I've had times where I've slept for like 11 hours, and there are times that I didn't sleep at all. So it's been it's challenging. At the same time, it's kind of like, oh wow, reinventing myself and finding out more stuff about me, because I've been traveling so much that I really haven't gotten a chance to literally sit with me, you know? So it's kind of cool.
So word on the street is you're from Haiti, and the question is, okay. The question for you is, how important is it for you to represent Haiti on and off camera?
But before you answer that question, let me pose this question.
Yes, ma'am.
So if you can just give a brief, you know, history of how you landed here. And were you always like, when you came to the United States of America, were you always like Haiti forever? Or did it take you time to kind of like grow into being comfortable being a Haitian American actor?
This is the thing. I mean, first of all, I'm a Sylvain. So I mean, my family, if my family's watching, the Sylvains are very loud. But growing up in Haiti, it was so dope, because I always say this in my jokes, like I grew up in a third world country, but I never felt that I was in a third world country, you know. And we grew up middle class. We weren't rich, but we did so much for the community. My dad was in politics. He was a lawyer. He was a botanist, and he's done so much for the community. So I fell in love with not only a culture, but everything about it. I mean, from, you know, helping people grow farms at their house to, you know, just being in that world. So when I always, everybody, especially, you know, watching TV and stuff, when I thought about America, I always thought about the future. You know, I didn't see an escalator till I was like 10 years old. And I thought it was a Ferris wheel. So like, to come to America, it was just like, you know, I would visit my cousins, and then I'd go back to Haiti telling tales like, yo, you understand, they got toys everywhere. those little back then, they were 5 cents. You could put in and you get a gun. What? It was insane. So when I decided to, I didn't make no decision. I was a kid. When my parents, when we were basically kind of forced to leave because things were getting really bad politics-wise, and that's I'm not gonna say that's every Haitian story, but most of us have that kind of story. Things are bad and we have to leave and blah blah blah. But the thing is, my family was so respected, and my dad, I looked at him so high that I remember when I first went to school, I didn't know a word of English. I knew 3 words. I knew Kermit because frog. I knew frog because of Kermit the Frog. I knew elephant, and I knew attention because of Bill Cosby. Sorry, buddy. Because he used to say, you know, pay attention, Theo, and then attention sounds like the same thing in French. Attention. Anyway, so I'm chilling there or whatever, and I remember just looking around and everything, and I remember 2 kids fighting, and they called each other Haitian, and I didn't even know what that word meant, and especially in Miami back in the 94, 95. Oh my gosh! Like if you were Haitian, it was just like I didn't even know, because for me, I'm like, what are they talking about? Because for me, Haitien, je suis Haitien. I don't know what the Haitian didn't mean anything. I just heard wah wah wah, and so I'm like, what are they talking about? I remember the kids like, he called me Haitian, and then they're like, Bashir, aren't you Haitian? I was like, me? Nah, I'm Haitien, but I'm not Haitian. Until later on, I found out, oh, that's what it meant. But I was so blessed to grow up with a bunch of my friends that were Haitians as well. And a lot of them, not from Haiti, not from the school I went to, but I met a lot of Haitians in Miami. I mean, it's Miami. So we already started a community before the Fugees came out. We already had a small little group of community, and our community was so dope, because one was a football star, the other one was a black belt in karate, the other dude was a bodybuilder, and I was the skinny brother that was just making fun of everybody. So we always had a nice, you know, group that nobody really kind of like picked on us in a sense. And then, you know, when the Fugees came out, everybody and their mama was Haitian. So everybody was claiming, oh yeah, me too, my auntie. But I never felt bad about it. I always felt horrible. The one time I could say where I was like, damn, it really hurt was after the earthquake. After the earthquake, that broke me so hard, because it was like, imagine all your memories are being taken away from you. You know, all your whole world. Like I heard our house was destroyed in Dalma. It was just like mind-boggling to me, and to see how, because I knew how Haiti looked like. So when they used to show stuff about Haiti, I used to be like, man, y'all don't have a clue. At the same time, I'd be like, yeah, think that it's that bad. Sure. But I knew certain parts that are amazing. But when I saw the earthquake and how devastated it was so hard for me to handle that, because it was just like, wow, I hate the fact that that's the image that we have, because all the beautiful parts that we did have got destroyed. And so it was really, really hard. And so when people, you know, used to be like, oh man, you know, I'm so sorry. And I used to hate that, because I'm like, don't feel sorry for us. Like, we're the first Black independent country. Don't feel sorry for us. So that was the only time where I actually was like, kind of, my ego kind of got hit. But that's about it.
Okay. And now his question.
What was the question?
How important is it for you to represent?
It's very important, man. It's very important. It's part of my DNA. It's part of my art. Like, it's to the point where it's like, you know, I tend to put a lot of pressure on myself, and that's one of them. You know, I feel like I have to represent my country no matter what, because we're not being heard. You know, it's not every day that you turn on the TV and you see a brother speaking Creole or French, and we've been around for a long time, and and I'm so blessed that God has given me the opportunity to do what I do, because we don't get to be represented. And so anytime, the first gig I ever gotten that was huge, Bentley Evans, Love That Girl with Tatiana Ali. And that was like my first, I mean, I've been out here for like 2 years, and that was my first guest star. And I was so like happy, because Stacey Evans, one of the writers of it, she found out I was Haitian. She was like, what if we make the character Haitian? And I was brand new, so I was just like, yeah, that'd be cool. But in the inside, I'm like, yes. So it was such a blessing to be able to represent us in a totally different light. And also the way she wrote the character and made me, you know, like I was international. We don't even have the real description. It was just something international, and I had to I was a translator. That's what I was. I was a translator for the UN, and it was just like, wow, this is great. This is awesome. So I've always been blessed to be able to represent my country at any given time.
Is that what led you to write, produce, and star in the amazing short film ID?
Yes.
Is it called ID or ID?
No, it's both. It's both. And I did that on purpose, because I want people to say ID, and it's so great. No, I wrote that short, you know, because I knew of so many people that have gone through the troubles of like hiding their identity, and I've seen it. You know, I remember we had a dude that hung out with us for like a good 5 years, and then out of nowhere, you know, we hit him up. He was throwing a party at his house. We go to his house, and his parents started talking Creole. We're like, whoa. He's like, yeah, man, I'm Haitian. And I was like, brother, like not once have you ever in your life said a word. But, you know, it's been very important to me, especially now that we are in a place that, you know, we have social media, we have the platform to be seen. You know, I want to tackle a lot of the issues that people still go through, not only Haitians, but a lot of immigrants, you know, especially with certain laws that they try to pass, you know, in Arizona, and, you know, the discrimination that a lot of immigrants have. I'm like, yeah, we have this duality that a lot of people don't know that we're struggling with. And hopefully this short gets an insight of the struggles that we go through, and hopefully everybody could relate, you know, because, you know, I think a lot of people fear the unknown, but once you start understanding a little bit deeper what's really going on in somebody's head, or see their vulnerability, you have a better chance to empathize with them.
And where can people see your short?
Oh, it's on Instagram. If you just go into it's just my name, Bechir Sylvain. Bashir
What is
Sylvain.
it? What is that?
Don't worry about it.
All right.
Bashir Sylvain is actually how you're supposed to say my name. So I know a lot of people are like, huh? What? Really, Bashir? Is Bashir Sylvain. It's actually B-E accent C-H-I-R and Sylvain. Very, very French name. But
my phone just says Bechir, so weird.
or Bechir. Man, the names I used to get called, I was called Beaker, Bechir. I mean, it's insane. But no, if you go to my Instagram, you can see it there, and also Moonlight Eye, you can see it there as well too. Moonlight Eye LA for all the
And what is Moonlight Eye?
Moonlight Eye is basically a group that I started here in LA with a bunch of friends of mine. Well, a bunch of Haitians that I met at a party. Because I didn't know there was any of us out here. I thought there was literally like 3, because we would see each other in auditions and we'd get excited. We would speak Creole and then we'd like, bye, nigga. And then that was it. But then I went to a party. My boy Gene Ellis, he's in Insecure. And he threw a party and it was about like at least like 50 Asians in there. And I literally went around and got everybody's number. And then I was like, you know what? I don't want to talk about anything. I just want to hang out with everybody. So let's just go hike. And so we went hiking because Haiti is known for mountains and stuff. So we did that. And I started an Instagram page. And next thing you know, I was doing events after events after events. And now we have a very beautiful community that support one another here, especially in LA and also everywhere. And yeah, now like we're one of the groups in LA that people go to if they're Haitian. They go, oh, wow. You know, there's a Haitian community, to the point where we even brought Haitian comedians from Miami to LA to perform. You know, we did a big party for our Flag Day, which I'm still thinking about trying to do virtually. But we're
I'm like, how sway.
But yeah, man, it's been great to be around my people, and it was something that I was missing for real. I didn't realize how important it was to be around, you know, your culture and to speak your native tongue and to eat your food. Like I had no clue. And it's one of those things that now I'm learning, like, wow, I didn't realize how important it is. Only thing is when I'm around them too much, I start losing my English. And so and it's so funny because people would look at me and be like, Bashir, you know, you said that word wrong. I'm like, yeah, it's just, you know what, whatever.
So I've been seeing you post clips from Making It Happen. Can you talk a little bit about the genesis of that project, and will we be able to see more of that project?
It's so funny. We literally had a meeting today about it. Make It Happen was a web series. We did it 10 years ago. It was a web series before web series were web series. Back in the day, it was like new content. We don't know what it is because it was like 10 minutes, 12 minutes, 9 minutes, it didn't matter. And it was me and my best friend. We were just tired of auditioning all the time and getting no's. And I was like, why don't we just write a vehicle for ourselves? And about the industry and us trying to make it. And me and him, we grew up together. So we have a dynamic it's just one of those things that you just go, oh, yeah, I'll watch them all day, like Bad Boys, like, you know, Martin and Will. And
what's his name? Who is it?
Oh, Sheon McKinney. He's in The Neighborhood on CBS, 8:00 p.m. He plays Malcolm. No, man, that's yeah. Me and him, we started a theater company together. We've done a lot together, and so we decided to do a show that just helped our platform and just to be able to not only express our frustrations, but at the same time just do some comedy because we were both fools. And so we did one episode. It cost me literally $1,000. It was all my money back then. And then people really liked it. And so we decided to do a second one. I started, you know, making that commercial money, and that helped a lot. And so I put a little extra money on the second one, and we turned it into the NBC Shortcut Film Festival where I met my late wife. And that's where it just started becoming like this thing. Like people were just like, wow, this is so great. This is so funny. And people are still loving it till this day. And then what happened was Roku, some company from Roku, his name is Marc Sears. He hit me up and he was like, yo, I love what you guys are doing. And he was such a great producer, man. And he helped us out, literally gave us some money to shoot some more episodes. We shot 2 more, and that was it. And then he ran his we ran out of money, and something happened with the company or whatever, and then and now it's just been on the shelves for a long time. And so what we're hoping is to either trying to do either a feature or continue the journey 10 years from now and seeing those characters still in the same struggle. We don't know yet, but we're definitely thinking about bringing it back because we got to work with some incredible people. Mike Beach, Christopher B. Duncan. I mean, we've worked with some incredible, Tony Baker. I mean, yeah. So if anything, please go check it out. I put some clips on it on my page as well, but we also have a Facebook page, Make It Happen. Just put Make It Happen and you'll see it, and you'll probably see all the episodes there.
So we got a chance to see you play the amazing, iconic Malcolm X in the play The Meeting. How was it playing Malcolm X, and also how did it feel when you guys received the NAACP Theater Award for Best Ensemble?
Man, that was man, if you're not a believer, that's one of those things that you just go, yeah, God is real. When he put something in you in college, I remember in college at SMU, well, it's not all white school, but it's from, mostly white. And I remember falling into this script. Jeff Stetson, by the way, is the writer, an incredible writer, and I can't thank him enough for his words because he captured these two guys so well that it changed my life. It literally changed my life. I became militant that day when I read that script. I was like, I'm Malcolm. Like, this is it. It was insane. And so from college, I decided to do a production of it in college because I was just like, white people need to know. and I did it, and then it just, and I never touched it again. And it was not until I was here and with my wife, we were talking about a way to help her business, which was Brown Sugar Rehab, which is an organization that basically tells people awareness about colon cancer and for sugar consumption. And she was trying to come up with, some kind of event to do to not only, educate folks, but at the same time, entertain them at the same time and, just do us. And that was the project that, we decided to do together. And man, and my mentor, Bill Cobbs, first of all, Bill Cobbs is my mentor. I'm done. Bill Cobbs, who I met in Miami shooting a film. It was the film called 3 Days to Vegas. I got to meet Ossie Davis on the same set, and then he passed away that Monday. And Bill Cobbs was his replacement. And we bonded over jazz because I'm an old head like that. And he was like, "You want to travel with me?" And I was like, "Yes, sir." And we became friends since then. And then when I decided to do this project, with his background, his theater background, oh my gosh, I was like, "Would you do me the honor?" And he was like, "Honor." And he's like, "Thank you, brother." He was, till this day, he still thanks me. He's like, "Thank you for the opportunity." I was like, "Bill, I think you got it wrong, man. I'm supposed to thank you for you taking the time to direct us." And he took us to another level, man. And Ethan and Justin, they did such an incredible job. Ethan Henry did such an incredible job playing Martin Luther King that he booked a show on, I think it's Netflix. I forgot which one.
No, it's Genesis. It's on the
it's the Aretha Franklin.
Yeah.
One of them.
The History Channel.
The History Channel. The film or the TV show?
I think it's the TV show. It's the
TV show. Genius, yeah.
And yeah, like that, for him to call me and to be like, "Man, Bashir, thank you so much," because we've been doing it for, I would say, good 2 years. And, we did it a couple places here and there. And the fact that all these opportunities came through, and also to play one of the greatest men, I think, that we've encountered in this earth. I respect him so much for his loyalty, his dedication, and his selflessness to really, really care about Black people and wanted us to really be excellent, man. And I think, we are aiming towards Malcolm's dream, which is starting our own business and doing our own stuff and getting our own studios. And I'm so happy that we are moving towards that route and being financially stable and and all of that, because that's what it's all about. So yeah, it was huge for me to even have the honor to not only read the words, but to be able to play this man was, it still is a gift, and I hope one day I get to do it in a bigger platform, because man, the things I know about this dude is, it's touched me for the rest of my life. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, did a little research and found out that you were honored in the 2019 with the Emerging Leader Award at the Haiti International Film Festival.
Yeah. No, the international festival has been going on for, it's gonna be 5 years now, which I had no clue. I'm like, what's going on? And we met through my party that I threw for the Flag Day. And he was like, yeah, man, I'm doing this film festival. And I was just like, what? There's a Haitian film festival in LA? What is going on? And he came to a couple of our events and everything like that, and we became really close. And he surprised me. I was in Arizona doing The Royale by Marco Ramirez at the Arizona Theater Company. And
playing who?
I was playing Jay Johnson, which is representative of Jack Johnson. And they hit me up and they were like, yo, we would like to honor you with this award. And it meant a lot, because our company's Moonlight Guy has only been around for 2 years now, only 2. And for him to give us this honor, and we did a lot, and I didn't even realize that. I'm one of those people that just do. I never look back. I'm one of those guys that climb the mountain, but I never take a moment to look back. And I always tell everybody else to do it, but I don't do it. I'll tell people, turn around and look what you've done. And I'm like, still looking forward. And that was one of those moments that gave me pause and made me to look back and go, wow, look how far I've come. And that was such a great honor to have that, especially for the Haitian community, and also for the Haitian people to know who I am, because that's something that is very huge for me. I want us not only represent us, but I also want to be known amongst my people, and so they could, follow me and see the stuff that I do for them.
So outside of Malcolm X, what has been one of your favorite roles to play?
Ooh, man. I mean, there's so many. One of my favorite roles, and it was in Miami. I did it with Shion, with our theater company. I did Top Dog Underdog, and that's something that I'm thinking of redoing, because there's something about Lincoln that just touched me in such a beautiful way, and also our chemistry was just it was so great. That was one of my favorite stories, because there were 2 broken people, and to see 2 broken people making it work, no matter what, and for me, just my perspective of it, making it work, and family, and the brokenness, and all this mingled up, all this stuff is mangled up inside, and the rage and the pain and all of that, and to be able to express it was such a beautiful experience for me. And also I got to learn to do 3-card Monty, so I could steal both of your monies.
You don't want to see me.
It's facts.
You don't want to see me.
Man,
you don't want to see me.
I'm telling you right now, you will walk out.
You don't want to see me.
All right. But my second favorite, definitely Malcolm. I mean, I don't even put Malcolm. I don't even put in the same category. It's like Malcolm is like the other thing that you just go, yeah, and then you go, oh, these are my favorite things, but this is just the ultimate, platform for everything that I've ever wanted to do. But Jesus Hopped the A Train, when I played Lucius, that was a dope role as well too. Reason why, because I was only 25 and I was playing a 42-year-old, and I literally grew my beard like this. And man, and the best compliment as an actor, because I was still young, I was still new in the game, is when a correction officer came up to me and was like, I know that guy. And I was like, What do you mean? He was like, I know that guy. I know him. I've worked with somebody like him. And I was like, wow, that's dope. And then the last one, I'm picking three because even though you asked me three, the last one was Jack Johnson, man. That right there, man, changed me physically, mentally. Woo! Man, that role right there, playing Jack Johnson was a monster. And it challenged it the beauty of that one was I finally got to a place where I just trusted myself. I didn't do much. I trusted the process. God, that was such a beautiful thing to experience, to be able to go, what? We have a week. Oh, I don't know these lines. But you know what? Repetition, trusting the process and trusting the people around you. And it was, especially as me as a Virgo, I'm always like, I got to learn everybody's lines. I got to know everything. I need to know everything. And for me to be like, I don't know a thing, and I'm going to allow myself to experience in the moment. Woo, man, that was, that took me to another level that I cannot wait the opportunity to tap into that more, because I got really comfortable in it. And now I'm like, it just grounds you, because you got to trust you. Who else can you trust? And when you're able to trust your work that much without over, checking it, man, it's a beautiful place. And even your mistakes become part of the performance. It's like one of my teachers say, the goal is to learn how to fall creatively. So, which is such a beautiful message. I'm like, wow. Or what I say now is learn how to fail creatively. So if you're failing creatively, you're not really failing, you're creating. And so therefore you never look at it as a failure, you're still attempting something, which is kind of dope.
Speak on the frustration sometimes as an actor or in being in this business that, that I know that we can go through those things. Speak on your experience, the frustration you may go through as an actor in this business.
And how you overcome those frustrations using clean language.
I've been doing really good, man. I've counted three so far. I'm like, I'm doing pretty good, man. I think at the beginning is the first frustration I remember when I first came out here was, I need to be seen. Why they need to know who I am. I mean, I've done this, I've done that. I need to be seen. And it was hard because nobody knows you. Like, what I'm saying? Like, what? Like, how are you going to be seen? And then you'll try to get an agent, and they'll be like, well, you need a reel. You need a reel. And I'm like, how do I get a reel? Well, you got to work. And I was like, well, how am I going to get to work? Well, you need an agent. I was like, well, that's why I'm here. And they're like, well, I don't know what to tell you. And I'm like, well, how about you give me the work, I get the reel, and then, then we don't have to do this whole thing. But after a while, learning to, no, I can't say that I surrendered that quickly, because I didn't. I was hard-headed. I was doing everything that you could possibly think of. I would audition for everything. It didn't matter. It was just like, I took the Will Smith approach. It was like, huh? What? You want me to do what? You want me to wear this? I'll do it. I'll do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I did everything. And it was a good lesson to that. It was a good thing for me. But I realized it was me stroking my ego. It was my way of going, you're validating yourself and not really falling into, understanding, hey, man, you're going to be fine. And financially and all that stuff, all that pressure. But at one point, you have to just take a moment and understand, number one, where you are in your life. Your personal life has to be in the forefront. And that's something that I realized right away after I got into an accident. Because again, like I told you, I'm one of those people that climbed the mountain and I never looked back. And I was never satisfied. Never, ever, ever satisfied. 2 years I was.
Well, hold on. We lost you.
Call me. It's all
Who
good.
tried to call you?
Tash. Speaking of manager. Oh, I'm sorry. But you know, 2 years in LA, and I'm doing a reoccurring in a show with Tatiana Ali, which was like a dream, you know, yeah, everybody's dream. But anyway, so you know what I'm saying? I'm like, but yet I couldn't see it. I was just like, no, I need to be getting an Oscar right now. What am I doing? What am I doing? And I was so focused on that I didn't take care of myself. So I wouldn't sleep. I would just be on all the time. Like, it was insane. Of course, I was making commercial money, which was great. Commercials was doing good, but I still was never taking the time to appreciate these moments. And I would say that was the part where it took an accident. It took God to break me, to literally put me and set me down and go, all right, are you going to be okay? And even then, when I'm broken, I'm in the hospital, and the first thing I do, speaking of Tash, I call my manager. I have a cast on my leg broke off my hip, so I can't walk. And I'm in the hospital, and I call him up, and I'm like, yo, hey, call ER or any like procedural doctor stuff. Tell him I could be a patient. I was worse than you, Melvin.
And that's bad.
I mean, for real, I was that dude. I was
Right.
literally thinking like, yo, I have a cast. I could be a patient. Yeah, I could still work. But until I literally surrendered finally and went, God, use me however you want me to use me. I was like, if this is not what you want me to do, it's scary, it's fine, but I have to be okay with what you choose for me. And I guess that was probably the biggest thing. It's number one, reconnecting, having my communication with God during this whole process. I think it is crucial. Christian or not, it is a must. You must believe in something bigger than you. I think that is a must in anything. You have to. Because it is the most important thing to really make you have understanding of how to maneuver in this world, especially when you find out that it ain't you. Like, it's not like you're not here to serve you. You're not here to serve you. And once you really truly realize that, then you could really calm down and understand, oh, certain opportunities come and they go, but and you create this peace that allows you to be okay and understand that you will be taken care of. There are certain things that I knew that I was built with. And the fact that I am Haitian and I have the work ethic that I have, and everything started making sense. The family that I have, I'm like, God is not going to put me in any position that's not going to allow me to survive. He gave me the ability to work as hard as I can. If I had to go back and work at a restaurant, you know what I'm saying? And I thrive in the restaurant business to the point where it was driving me insane. But he was showing me again, like, look, yeah, you might not like it, but trust me, I will always be able to take care of you however way you need to be. But you have to trust in me. You have to trust in something bigger than my way of doing it. I've never heard anybody in the history of any award go up there and go, I would like to thank me for me. And this award definitely belongs to me. And thank you. I'm the greatest. Thank you. Every single time, everybody always thank God or always thinks something bigger than them or anybody else. There's always a surprise. It's never I knew it and all the hard work I've done. And it's never that, because this world, number one, is not guaranteed. Number two, the moment you let go and you trust the process of life, but you have to have a guide. You have to have something to trust. You can't just be like, oh yeah, I'll just trust the process and be like, then you're lost. You have to have some kind of a platform, some road, some path to be able to go, okay, cool. This is what I need to do. This is how I'm choosing to live my life according to that path in order for me to reach the goals that is not for me, but for the world, you know? Mm-hmm. And so whatever religion you choose, know that those are the things that you're trying to stick on. So if you're Muslim, okay, cool. There is a whole way of life. There's a way of life to do that. If you're Christian, there's a way of life to do that. you know, and I think we tend to lose, you know, focus on that because we're so focusing on, well, what does it do for me? What does it do for me? It has to do something for me. And it's like, no, nah, bro. It has nothing to do with you at all.
But that's the thing, you know, you come out to LA and you're like, I'm here. Hi. Use me because I'm talented. I got it. But like you said, I mean, a lot of it is ego and pride. And, you know, 2 years here and you booked a guest star role. Bruh, I was in LA for 8 years before I booked my first co-star. Okay? 8. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And it was a co-star. Ma'am, that man brought you that dress. That's what I said. Okay. 8 years. So that's huge. But it is like when you get to that, the understanding that it's not about you, that it is way bigger than you and the people that you connect with, it matters.
And you start seeing it in the work. And then it becomes so much easier. You put less pressure on yourself. Because what I truly believe, what's yours is yours. It's nobody else's. What's yours is yours. There's a reason why God has allowed me to play Malcolm X, Jack Johnson, Willie from Bigger, EJ from Claus. And I remember the difference between all these roles now than back then. Back then it was just like, yeah, I'm gonna do this and and then it's gonna make my plan work. Now I remember when I got the call for EJ. The first thing I asked God, I said, God, what is it you want me to do for this role? And then the one thing that that popped in my head, and because of the role, they were like, oh yeah, you're playing Jen's baby daddy. And I was like, okay, he just got out of jail. I'm like, oh wow, that's not typical at all. Cool. That's cool. Black man out of jail and not in the family. Cool. But then I was like, well, this is the opportunity to show how a Black man wants to be part of his family. And that's exactly what they wrote. And it was just like, wow, here is this man that's basically is being shown wanting to be part of his family and wanting to be a good dad and wanting to help. I was just like, yes, thank you.
And a country singer.
Yeah, and a country singer.
Playing the guitar.
You know, and it's that, like, even with Willie, you know, I remember auditioning for that, and I remember they didn't know really what that character was gonna go with, but now I get to voice, you know, the situation with the homeless, and I take this very seriously. You know, I go in, especially when you do have someone to go to and ask, hey man, what do you want me to do with this? It's beautiful. It's so refreshing, and then it puts you in this focus that's beyond what you could beyond your understanding, beyond what you could come up with. Because then it's like, wow, this is so much bigger than me. So doing your work becomes easier because you know why you're doing it, instead of like, man, I just need to make that money. So, all right, so what I'm going to do now? Like, it's like, yo, I have to tell that story, and automatically it just happens.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, brother, for tuning in and being on the part of the show. We appreciate you. A lot of information. I'm sure your Haitian brothers and sisters are proud right now.
Yeah, man, I got my cousin right there. Cedric, what they do? It's two beautiful little girls. Oh, man, what's up, cuz? Yeah, man. No, thank you for having me, man. Thank you for you two for using this time and this platform to allow people to express themselves and also to, you know, talk about love and marriage and Black love. And it's something that's totally, especially during this time, it's like we need it. We definitely need a place to at least start the communication and start talking more. So
absolutely.
So I thank you guys very much for that. Where
can people find you on the socials?
Just my name, Bechir Sylvain. Because a lot of people it's like Bashir and then they put B-A and they can't find me. But if you put Bechir, boom, I should be the first one to step, to show up. But yeah, all my social handles are my name. So that's pretty much it.
Awesome.
Thank you, brother. We love you, man.
Love you.
Too. Love you too. All right. Bye.
And guys, also tune in on Friday on Netflix, May 1st, All Day and Night, co-starring Kelly Jenrette, Jeffrey Wright, Ashton, what's Ashton's last name? Sanders. And great film. Hope you guys love it. Thank you for tuning in. We love you guys. Be blessed.